I want to go ahead and have a little talk with you guys today about how I price my lawns. Now, this is how I do it. I know there's other solo guys out there that do it differently. I know there's larger companies out there that do things differently, but this is how I've been doing it, and I've been landing a lot of jobs while at the same time paying my bills. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and run you guys through a little bit of the madness that I go through when it comes to pricing a lawn. Everything in this video is based entirely off of my business model and my goals, which is why I encourage everybody to approach this video with a diplomatic mindset in the comments when you're done watching this video. This video applies to my business model, which is driving around a truck with a big skid sprayer that's 200 gallons, walking all of my properties. That's just what I like. That's what I like best. Very profitable with the liquids, and that you can mix things together, run injection systems, all that fun stuff. And on top of that, you can also save on the machine cost and the maintenance cost because it's a simpler design compared to running a hydraulically driven ride-on machine. It's also going to be cheaper in cost. Here in this video, we're going to talk about lawn fertilization and weed control for a minute, which, as you guys know, that is my core service. That is the service I offer. That is the direction we're heading. And it's a really awesome, lucrative service to be into. The barrier to entry is a little bit higher than mowing, so be aware of that. You do have to check with your state university about getting licensed and all that fun stuff. But once you do it, you'll be off to the races and moving. It's also very lucrative. You can get your tree and shrub license. You can start doing double bangers for your clients that way. You can also just do lawn and then upsell aeration overseeds, which seems to work really, really well in our local service business. But all that being said, how do we actually go about pricing the lawn? Now, pricing for lawn fertilization and weed control doesn't have to be complicated at all. As a matter of fact, because it's such a lucrative business, it's such a quick in and out service that can be performed quicker than mowing. There's not a lot of overhead. There's not a lot of labor. You can actually run a very decent lawn fertilization and weed control route by yourself. I'm using a 200-gallon spray tank here from Gregson's Clark. Not a sponsor, by the way, but maybe that's a conversation I'd like to have with them. Give me a call, guys. But anyway, Gregson's Clark 200-gallon space saver. I've come to learn that I can efficiently spray 4 stops an hour with this sprayer, and I can easily do anywhere from 14 to 20 in a day. And every time I go out with this sprayer, I'm guaranteed to spray an entire 200 gallons of product in one day, which allows me to cover, as you'll hear in this video, 3 acres of turf. So no matter what, tank full a day allows me to spray 3 acres of turf. Let me show you guys how I go about pricing for the day. As a rule of thumb, I like to price myself to, number one, make $1,000 a day, because on average, every home service business, whether it's lawn care or not, is going to make $1,000 a day. Again, easy in the comments section. This is how I do it. This is what works for me. What works for you, leave it down below. But this is how I do it. So typically what I do is I figure out how many square feet can my sprayer cover. Now, I think this is a good number to stay with, especially if you get a sprayer that can cover more than the acreage that my sprayer covers. But anyway, because any more and your price might actually be lower, so you got to be careful with this here. But 3 acres is a good number here. So I have my 200-gallon Space Saver sprayer calibrated at 1.5 gallons per thousand. And it's a 200-gallon spray tank. And with that calibration, I can actually spray 3 acres of lawn in a day, no matter what. No matter the size of the lawn, no matter the lucrativity of the lawn, I am able to spray 3 acres of lawn in a day. And that can be anywhere from 12 lawns, 7 lawns in some cases if you're doing really big ones. It could be 12 if you're doing lawns in the middle. It could be even 27, maybe even 32 if you're doing a bunch of small ones. So it's really all about what your ideal lawn is. You need to figure that out, or if you do take on different types of work, just know that the math will change depending on how big your lawn is. So typically what I do, I know that my sprayer will cover 3 acres. Now, I've done the math on that. 1 acre is 43.56 thousandths square feet. So you multiply that by 3, that's 131,000 square feet. It's okay to round up. You'll be fine just a little bit, right? So 131,000 square feet is equivalent to 3 acres. That's what my 200-gallon sprayer can cover. So once I got that, I want to go ahead and take that and divide it by the lawn size, which is 5,000 square feet, because that's the size of the lawn. And what this number is going to tell me here is how many of those 5,000 square foot lawns I can spray in a day. So in this case, 26.2, the same number as a marathon. What a coincidence that is, right? It's 26 stops at 5,000 square feet. Now, is it going to be a perfect world where every lawn you get is the same size? Absolutely not. But this is a good estimate to get things started here. So now what I want to do, because my goal is to make at least $1,000 on those 26 stops that I can run the sprayer for, I want to go ahead and take 1,000, because that's the amount of money on average a home service business can make in the day, whether it's fertilization, landscaping, you name it. Now that number can change, but it's just an average, and it's a good rule to operate by. Watch this. So we take 1,000, and we're going to divide that by, we're going to take that, and we're going to divide that by how many stops we have to do, which is 26.2. And as you can see, for a 5,000 square foot lawn, that's $38. Now, to some of you, that might seem a little bit lower, but it's good because it's competitive and it's going to get you in more places. And quite frankly, this is a great price to get you in the door early in the spring. If you insist on charging a little bit higher, it'll help you out with some of the competition out there. So 38.16. Now, quite frankly, I'm a rounder. I like to keep things simple, so I'm going to go ahead and round that up to $40. So when I take $40, I take that and divide it by 5,000. That's $8 a thousand. Now, we've followed my rule that I've mentioned earlier. We don't want to go any lower than 7,000. At least I don't, being smaller. Maybe if you're a little bit bigger, you can, but 100, 200 clients, you want to stay around that $7 to $10, so then that way you can allocate the money properly as it comes in to pay your expenses, whatever those are. If you got a shop, you got to pay for that every month. You got to pay for the chemicals that come in. You got to pay the labor, which is yourself if you're drawing a salary from yourself. And you also got to pay for marketing. So typically, this is how I have been taught to do it. By a couple good friends of mine in the spray business. 20% goes to cost of goods. That's fertilizer, that's weed control, cost of goods essentially, those types of things, fungicides, grub control. 20% goes to that. I am not allowed to go any higher. I do not allow myself to do that. I am disciplined on that. So in this process, what I would advise a lot of you guys to do is to talk to your suppliers and see what discounts you can get if possible. Now, in general, you want to price the jobs as if you're not getting the discounts, then that way you can take home a little more profit and use that to reinvest in the business or whatever other accounts you have open. You can put that money in there and save it for later on. That would be my advice to you. Now, you do what you want, but that's just what I'm doing, right? This is what I'm doing. This isn't what you have to do. I'm just being transparent here. 10% of that goes to marketing. So my marketing budget is pretty tight. I hand out a lot of door hangers. I hand them out religiously. We go out every week. We hand them out on the blocks we're working on. Some days we're not working because of rain. We're out advertising, trying to get some more customers. Or we're also talking to our current customers and trying to upsell them on other services. We're doing one of those two things on rain days, trying to be very, very productive. But that's another video for another time. But on one aspect of it, we're handing out advertising, trying to advertise to our new clients out there in the area to increase route density, because that's really how you make money in the spray business, is with route density from my experience. You don't want to be driving all over town. You're going to get a lot of windshield time, and you're going to have to charge a little bit higher if that's the case. But if you want route density, you got to be competitive. You also got to advertise on times you're out spraying when you have a couple minutes. Maybe you do like the cloverleaf, or you do one house on this side, one house on that side, and 3 houses on the other. It's been around for a while, the 1, 2, 3 method, the cloverleaf method, whatever you call it. At the end of the day, that's how I do it. Now, feel free to share your comments down below. I'd love to discuss with you, but this is how I've done it. This is what's working for me. This is what's driving growth in my business. Maybe it can draw growth for you too.